Question: is playing video games a hobby? Now this is an interesting question that I see kicked around a lot, because occasionally some guy will ask in a Reddit thread how guys can make themselves more attractive to women, and the response is almost always something akin to pick up a hobby, do something with your time, make yourself more interesting, make yourself something that we can invest in and we can share with you. And this of course kicks in the question of whether video games are a hobby or they're just a waste of time. That's the counterpoint, is that video games are a waste of time. And I want to explore that first. Are video games a waste of time? Yeah, technically they are, because you're not gaining anything out of playing them. But when you think about it, the majority of things that we do are a waste of time in this sense. Like browsing Facebook is a waste of time. Watching TV is a waste of time. Watching YouTube videos is a waste of time. And it's good that we have wastes of time, because it means we can do more with ourselves and refresh our minds. I'd argue that most people spend more than half of their life doing things that are not productive, and that's perfectly acceptable, because you need time for yourself. You don't want to work all the time. You have to work hard to make yourself a better future, but you also have to enjoy the future as well. You have to enjoy your life. But video games are different from those other mediums of entertainment, and that is, video games require a lot out of you. They require you to constantly pay attention and have fast reflexes. They require you to memorize secret button combinations and secret locations, and they're skill. They're a skill. You have to get used to the controls and such. And skills fade if you don't use them, so you have to practice a lot just to stay where you are in the skill set. So that takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort, so you can actually feel mentally tired. I know I felt that if I play a video game for a long time. I feel like I've done a lot of work. I feel like I'm exhausted. And while that's not necessarily true that I've done that, I still feel that way. So you can get the feeling like you've done something without actually doing anything, which is a potential concern. I'd also like to bring up an important distinction between two major types of video games I've thought of. One is the type where there's a definitive end, like you play the game, there's a goal, you achieve it, and it's done. Now, a lot of games nowadays have post-story material, meaning that there's stuff you can do after you win, but for the most part, that's it, you win the game. But then there's the second type of game where there is no end goal, you just play constantly until you get bored, I suppose. These are games like World of Warcraft, or Minecraft, or League of Legends. That's the one I play. And someone recently asked me how you win League of Legends. Now, the interesting thing is there's no way to win League of Legends. It's not an actual end goal. There's individual games you play. You can win individual games, but there's no way to win the thing as a whole. It's like asking how you win chess, or you win basketball. You win individual rounds, and in playing you develop your skills so that you can do better in the future, but there's no end goal in playing any of these things. There's no end goal to playing League of Legends, so there's nothing I'm getting out of it. And most importantly, at the end, I'd like to point out that video games tend, it's not a universal, but it tends to be something that you can't really share with people, and you can't really interact with them on that deep personal level. Because it seems more not personal. It seems like you're not connected to the person, even if you play online multiplayer. It's not the same thing as actually being with the person. It can feel like you're not really sharing it with them, especially since video game stuff, the environments, the situations are created by the designers. It's not created by you. It's not your creativity. You're experiencing the creativity of others, but it's not something generated by you. It's not something personal to you. It's no personal reflection of yours. So that's something very important to note. And a lot of people might think that's an arbitrary distinction, but in the minds of millions of people across the world, I think that it really is important. I think that that distinction is there. It feels impersonal, and that's something to be concerned about. So that's my personal opinion. If you disagree, feel free to let me know. I want to know other opinions on this. If you have any counters to it, I'd love to know that. And by the way, before I go, I just want to point out that I cut my hair. I figured I should mention that before I go, because it's been long for, like, ever. So tell me how sexy I am, or how not sexy I am. Whatever your opinion is, I'd like to know. Not that I can do anything about it at this point, but still, I want self-confidence. So be nice to me, and thanks. Have a good day.